Hey everyone, this is Attorney Andre. Now, everyone talks about should you have a partnership in business? Is it better to have a partner or should you go off on your own and just do everything as a solo? I mean, under your LLC, you should always have a company. But should that company run by more than one person? Well, here's the answer to that, especially in the very beginning. It might be tempting to have a partner, but let me give you some pluses and minuses of a partnership. If you have a partner, then make sure that partner, number one, complements you. So you do one thing and the partner does something else, and your partner is an expert at that one thing, or you're an expert in something and your partner is an expert in something else. Another way is if you have a partner that has money and you have a skill. So your partner provides financing, you provide the skill. Or your partner in, let's say, an accounting firm or a law firm, because I have a law firm, can do real estate transactions and you do litigation. So you bring in multiple business. The other way is if a partner can kind of complement you and help you out. You're both experts at one particular thing. You're both experts in real estate. And one of you is going to focus on the financial aspect of it, and the other one is going to focus on procurement, for example. That works because then you have like a division of duties. But if it's just a partnership where both of you are doing the same thing, then I'll tell you it's not worth it. So make sure that if you have a partnership, or if you choose to go the partnership route, then you need to make sure that everyone knows what their duties are. Because if everyone's just running around and not doing anything, then it's not helpful. Now, the other aspect of it is, how much are you really giving up for this partnership? Because let's say you have a division of duties. Your partner is dealing with the finances, you're dealing with procurement. Wouldn't it be better, and you have to do the math on this, wouldn't it be better if you just hired someone to do that for you? So instead of having a partner where you're giving 50% of your equity or 30 or some percent of equity, isn't it better to just pay someone to do it and you keep 100% of your equity? That is an analysis you have to do. And that's one of the things why maybe it's good to have a partner if you don't want to give up that amount of money in the beginning, but you do want to give up equity. And maybe if you don't want to give up equity and you want to keep all the equity to yourself, it doesn't make sense to have a partner. So that's one of the things you have to calculate. Number one and number two, really the delineation of duties. And then also, can you give up equity, or do you want to give up equity as opposed to giving up front end cash? Now, if you do have a partnership, you want to make sure you have a contract. And that contract has to talk about a couple of different things. One of them is, again, the delineation of duties. The second thing, very important, is a way out of the partnership, because you really hope that the partnership lasts forever. But the reality is that a lot of the times they don't. Most of the times they don't. I would probably say that most partnerships fail after 5 years. And you want to be able to have a way out. Who keeps the clients? How are the costs split up? Can the business keep going on, or does the business terminate? Because one of the things very important is, let's say you have a business, your partner leaves, and technically that business ends because you only had one or two people or three people or whatever it is, but that business ends unless there is a provision in your contract that says that the business can keep on going. And if the business could keep on going, where does that partner that left, or where does that partner that was kicked out, where does that partner go? And where do the shares go? Can you buy it back? What's the amount you can buy it back for? All of these things have to be put in an agreement, because the more you put in the agreement, kind of like for a prenup for a marriage, the more you put in the agreement, the less you have to fight about later. Because if you don't have an agreement, then what's going to happen? If you don't have an agreement, then ultimately you're going to go to court, you're going to have a whole legal battle, and you're not making money. Because remember, the whole reason why you started this partnership, the whole reason why you started this business is to make money, right? But you're not making money because now you're spending money on lawyers, you're spending money on legal fees, you're spending money on fighting things that you shouldn't have been fighting if you had it all in an agreement. Now, let me give you an aside. Just because you have an agreement doesn't mean you're going to avoid litigation. But at least when you go into litigation, you're more or less certain about what's going to happen because everything's already written on paper. So that's really the next step. If you do have a partnership, make sure you have an exit strategy and make sure you have all of your documents in a row, including a partnership agreement, perhaps an operating agreement for the business, and make sure you understand where everything is going to go. Who is going to get paid back first? And also, the money that was included in the partnership, was that a loan or was that simply a purchase of equity? Because if it was a loan, then it's got to be paid back. But if it was just simply a purchase of equity, then nothing has to be paid back from that standpoint. There is a distribution of assets that should be in that agreement, but nothing has to be paid back as far as debt is concerned. The next thing that you should think about is your partner going to compete? So, for example, is your partner going to leave your business and compete with a different business or open up his own business? So, you had a partnership today, and tomorrow now you have new competition. So, make sure when you have your partnership agreement, when you're thinking of getting into a partnership and thinking about your exit strategy and how your business is going to work, make sure you have something there, either some kind of non-compete or some kind of delineation to where you're you can continue on the business if you choose to do so, or you sell the business if you choose to do so, and you know you're not going to have new competition, because you don't want to be in a situation where you were partners one day and now your competitors the next day. That might be good. Most likely it's not going to be good. But the reality is that all of these things come with the consideration that your partner is going to do what's in his best interest and not necessarily what's in your best interest or the business's best interest. So make sure that you really need that partnership, because if you can find capital working with banks, if you can do everything yourself and hire employees and just pay the salary or pay an hourly fee, that's probably the best way to do it. Because ultimately, what you really want to do is you want your either you want your business to grow to such an extent where you're scaling it and you're the only owner and you're making decisions and you have managers underneath you, or you have enough shares to where you're going to take your company public, and then essentially you'll have a whole bunch of shareholders but not necessarily partners, or you have a limited amount of partners. Let me know what you think. Do you have a partnership? Have you broken up with your partner? What did you do when you broke up with your partner? Did you go through litigation? Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if this is interesting to you, and I'll make more videos about business, about partnerships, and about everything else. See you later.